My name's Phil Aliff. I'm on the board of directors with Iraq Veterans Against the War. I served in the U.S. Army from November of 2004 to March of 2008 with the 10th Mountain Division in Fort Drum, New York. Let me begin by saying to our sisters and brothers in Iraq and Afghanistan that you are not alone in your opposition to this illegal occupation, and we must struggle together on every military base, in every combat zone, and with every veteran to reach our goals of ending the occupation. And let me be clear, we have the power to bring the troops home when soldiers throw down their weapons and refuse to fight. When I helped start the first active duty chapter at Fort Drum in April of 2007, we decided that in order to reach our goals of organizing active duty soldiers, we would need a base building approach to organizing. Instead of relying on media exposure as a quick fix to gaining members, we began weekly face-to-face meetings and used the media to create transparency from the chain of command. Our meetings focused on two main tasks, which was to decide about and take on initiatives, and to educate our members on the war and broader questions. By taking this perspective forward, we were able to win victories such as Eugene Cherry being discharged without a court-martial after going AWOL for 16 months. After going AWOL for 16 months after he couldn't receive help for his post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, the important point to make about building a GI movement is a relationship between civilian protests and the developing consciousness that soldiers have when resisting. As we speak, there are participants in the anti-war movement who believe that protests don't matter and that the movement doesn't get it. But the dynamic created by mass mobilizations is that soldiers see that there's a movement behind them. During Vietnam, soldiers would come home from war and see a country on fire, feeling resistance and social power manifesting from a mass movement. By seeing the mobilization, soldiers and veterans knew that to achieve their goals, they would have to become part of that movement. We, as Iraq Veterans Against the War, need to seek to influence the movement if people don't get it. We have to be a spark, and at the same time understand that a stronger civilian movement will help us achieve our goals. A stronger civilian movement means a stronger GI movement. Now, I'd like to finish by telling all of you how we can be successful with grassroots base building and a stronger civilian movement in the most practical way. Iraq Veterans Against the War has 3 points of unity that members must be in total agreement with to join. When it comes to how to reach those goals, we as members have the right to open debate and discussion. As we look around this room, we are an organization that has people new to organizing and people that are experienced, and that is healthy. I challenge the anti-war movement to open up all debate about how to reach our goals. We cannot afford to alienate veterans who can do great things for Iraq Veterans Against the War because the world is watching and every single one of us cannot be silent. We must have unity on immediate and unconditional withdrawal of all U.S. troops and contractors from Iraq. We must have unity on full benefits for all returning veterans despite their discharge status. And I think one of the most important points that Iraq Veterans Against the War has ever made, we have to have unity on reparations for the Iraqi people for damage done to their country to help rebuild the infrastructure in their lives. So I'd like to finish by saying, I think that the way to create a stronger GI resistance movement, again, is to not only support Iraq Veterans Against the War and their active duty outreach and reaching out to veterans, but is to build a civilian movement that is capable of inspiring GIs to throw down their weapons. Power to the people.